live, and our community is thriving already. And when you learn about what our community can do for everybody that is out there in the world, you're going to be super excited like the rest of us. And for the people that know me, you know that I am not a hypester, but I am so excited about what we were able to put together here that I cannot stop talking about it with everybody that I talk to on a daily basis. So again, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming to the launch. And I look forward to everybody that sees the replay getting excited about the future of where we're going to go with this community. So for people that don't know me, my name is Bill Toth, or Billy Bits is my kind of the name that I'm known for, because I got involved in Bitcoin back in 2016, and I did it in a very unique way. I had a customer that asked me if I was willing to accept Bitcoin as a business owner. No one knew what Bitcoin was. It was around $300 at the time. And I said yes. And what ended up happening from there is I ended up turning a couple of ideas for this company into where they actually sold the company. And I got a good amount of Bitcoin, which got me into the Bitcoin world. From there, I learned about cryptocurrency. I took the time to learn. But what ended up happening during that time is there were lots of what they call rug pulls, lots of scams. There were just a lot of things because it was so new. Nobody knew, nobody understood. Bitcoin was at 300, and how could it have gone to $20,000? And all kinds of other tokens came out, and the laws were not in place to protect the consumers back then. The laws are now in place to protect the consumers. So a lot of the people that got beat up back in 2016 to 2018, 19, laws changed. 2020, we had COVID. So people that had big nest eggs lost those big nest eggs. So over the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've been working on different projects around the space of business to business, helping businesses, building sales forces. And then about a year or so ago, the meme game, meme community, meme coins became very popular. And lots of people were jumping into it. And what I saw, the same thing that I saw happening back in 16, 17, happening again, where people have no idea whether that meme coin is ever going to be worth anything. And they're getting people to put 10,000, 20,000. And the more I saw, the more I got frustrated. And when I got frustrated, I said to my inner circle, I have an inner circle of people that I've done business with for a long time. Most of those people are not in this community right now. These are people that I talked to about what I wanted to do. And they were super excited when they heard I wanted to create something, not that's going to be a company, not that the business could go out of business, not that was revolved around a token that could work or might not work. So they gave me a lot of advice. I spent a lot of time with my professor who was helping me get the mathematics right so that we could do what centralized banks do as a decentralized banking community. So that's the story of how this community started. I'm here to help every person, whether you've had a loss in the past that you didn't deserve to have, or whether you were on the other side where you ended up being the big winner, but a lot of the people that got in after you ended up being the big losers. And now you're trying to do right by them, and they're not listening to you because they're like, I'm not taking another shot with you. So I'm putting you in a community that is about all the people that are part of the community. And what we're doing here is not only going to help you to get your credibility back, but it's also going to help you to be able to say to all the people that you talk to in the future that, hey, when you get involved with me, keep your checkbook, keep your money in your pocket. This is how this works. We never accept a penny from anybody. And the beautiful thing is we're in decentralized. We've learned how to make our phone our bank, and we don't have to rely on centralized banks anymore. So I'm going to go through the presentation, but I thought a little bit of the backdrop would be good for everybody, because this is an exciting time. And I would have never thought 10 years ago that I'd be here needing to help as many people that I'm helping because of them getting involved in some bad opportunities just because they didn't know. And even the people that got them involved did not know. And that's what this community is all about. All right. The presentation is for educational and community participation purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. All deposits within the Black Card decentralized banking network move peer-to-peer between members. There are no company-held funds, guarantees, or centralized wallets. Each participant is solely responsible for their personal deposit activity, phone app management, and compliance with applicable laws in their jurisdiction. Results, earnings, and examples are strictly for illustration only and depend on each participant's individual action, community activity, and timing within the decentralized flow system. This community is about transparency, accountability, and community. You always control your funds, your deposits, and your outcomes. All right. We're not only going to turn your phone into a decentralized bank, we're also going to turn that phone into a payment system. Okay. You're going to earn deposits, you're going to control your funds, and grow with a private community of partner banks. No different than when you're in a community and someone has 10, 15, 20 branches, except for we're all independent. So what's in your bank, in your phone, is yours. What's in my phone is mine. The future is digital. If you're not aware, there's 8 countries today that have totally gone to digital currency as their only currency that they use. So you're in the right place at the right time because the trend is starting. It's a lot cheaper to use digital, and there's no human interaction. It's on the blockchain. The blockchain is impeccable. You don't have to worry about having a shortage here or a shortage there. So we're going to use the velocity and leverage model that centralized banks have used since the 1700s, except this time the flow belongs to us. So let me give you a little bit of history here. So the banks have been making all the money, okay? They're centralized. So the Wells Fargos, the Chase, the Bank of Americas, right? All these banks. Then you got the community banks. Then you got the credit unions. But what do they all have? One thing in common. Every one of them has one thing in common. Who do they take care of? The shareholders, right? The stockholders and the executives. You hear it all the time about the amount of profit that they do and who gets taken care of. Oh, of course, the CEO, because you don't want him going somewhere else and being your competitor. And who gets a benefit from that? You do, because you're able to put your money in their bank. You're able to let it sit there. But what you don't know is every time you make a deposit, they're taking those deposits, and the velocity and leverage that they're creating is from your money. Even though your money's accessible to you, the longer you leave it, the better it is. And then what do they do? In return for letting them use your money, they charge you fees. So the more money that you put in and the more accounts that you put them in where you can tie it up, they then say to you what every bank says, hey, I'll give you a little bit of interest, but how much interest are they really making on it? And then at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share with you what they really do. But at the end of the day, the point is here, the future is digital and decentralized is the future. Let your money work for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Why now? Well, when the new administration came in, they immediately said, we want to be the crypto digital asset capital of the world. They saw it. One of the reasons why they saw it is our president, he got debanked. All the banks that he dealt with would not let him do banking. At that point in time, he realized how important digital was. So he went to all the politicians. Part of his whole running was, hey, we need to change some of the laws here. So the first thing they did, which was the most important piece, was that from now on, if you're a decentralized application, we will not require you to send us any information anymore. And why? Why would they do that? Well, let's think about it. If my money's in that centralized bank, and that centralized bank says they're going to give me interest or they're going to do this for me, and they don't do it, and I don't realize it, but the watchdogs do realize it, what do you think happens? You get these big attorney firms, they go out, they create class action lawsuits, they make a ton of money. We get a little bit of the money back from what we got cheated. Because basically, at the end of the day, we were getting cheated, right? So those watchdogs are there for a good reason, and we're happy that we have them there. But going forward, we don't need the watchdogs. So the government no longer needs to spend money on watchdogs because we're in control of our funds 100% of the time. Nobody touches our funds. And what do we have them on? We have them on our phone. And we keep our phone with us all the time. And with the security that we have, if we lose our phone, we get a new phone and all our funds are still there. We don't need to rely on that third party. So understand that is the first reason why that made so much sense to governmental agencies. But the other one is, think of all the waste of all the employees that they've needed to monitor things that they've never needed to monitor. But somebody who was in office wanted to create jobs. Why do they create jobs? Because that's how they get people to give them tons of money. So hire my son, hire my cousin, hire this whole group of people who helped you campaign. What is happening right now in our administration is that's being taken out of there, and we're going to streamline things, which means our dollar here in the U.S. is going to go further, and other countries are going to follow in what we're doing, and they're already following if you watch and read what's going on in this whole digital currency space. All right, now let's talk about this exciting part, this black card velocity, right? I told you we're going to do something that the banks have been doing. So we created 2 tracks, and it creates one continuous flow. All right. So I want you to visualize in your mind 2 tracks, and we got one continuous flow. So every slot will complete a 2-track circuit that generates $3,900 in decentralized USDT rewards, then re-enters you to keep the flow alive. And USDT, if you're not familiar, is a stable coin, which means it's dollar for dollar. It's not like, hey, my coin is worth $1 today and tomorrow it goes to 50 cents. So that's a real $3,900. And with our off ramp, you'll be able to take that in real fiat currency whenever you need to take funds from your USDT on your phone. All right, first track. We're going to go on the access track. This is what really gets people confused, right? So I sign up, I do the 3 steps that I need to do, and you're telling me that as soon as I'm up to bat, I'm going to get somebody sending me 3 $20 deposits. Yes, you're part of the banking system now that we have, decentralized, right? So what are you going to do now? You want to earn more deposits in our flow. So you're going to take 40 of that and you're going to send that up to level 2. What's that going to do? That's going to open up 9 slots. Now, what do you got? You got 360 coming in. But as that's coming in from the other people that came in after you, they're just following the program, right? Because you're going to come back around and you're going to push them up later. 200 is going to go over to your next track. Now, you're going to have the next 80. What you're going to do is you're going to contribute that to the velocity line to fund the new partners. You know how someone paid it forward for you to get in? You didn't even know who did it, but someone did it because they took their contributed $80 and they put it in. And then you're going to have $100 left over. Now, that $100 you can put on your black card right away, right? Put it on your black card. Or if you haven't bought the black card yet, that's a one-time $75 plus $10 for shipping. Take that out of the 100, and then you got 15 left over that you throw on the black card. Go to Starbucks, get yourself a celebratory coffee. Now, let's talk about the prestige track. Now, this is where the whole concept of black card, it's always been for the elite, for the status people. You know, American Express, you pay $1,000 for this card and 875 yearly for this card, right? I wanted, when we put in this community, one class of people, right? Person that's never been able to carry a black card before can now carry a black card. The person that's used to carrying a black card can still carry the black card. But that's this whole idea of the prestige track, right? So now, same thing's going to happen, but we added a zero, right? So now what do we got? We got 200. Now remember, you already paid it forward from your last track to take care of the 200. So now you're netting 600 on your first row. As soon as you get 400, you're going to send it up just like you did. Now you're going to get 9 back, which gives you 3,600 plus the 200 is 3,800. So you got 100 that you already used. Now you got 3,800 that you can move to your black card and do whatever it is that you need to do to live that lifestyle that you want. And that's only going through our track one time. The beautiful news about this, as soon as you made that commitment to do the 4 that you sent up, that gives you unlimited access to go through the track system as many times as you want. And as your children get older, have your children go through. As your children's children come in, have them go through. There is never going to be a time where you have to stop because you gave back to the community in the beginning. So the community is going to give back to you forever. All right, let's talk about this exciting black card, right? I already told you it's $75 plus $10. Gives you global access. Anywhere Visa is accepted, you can use this black card. Anywhere. Now, I told you this is our off-ramp when you want to turn it from digital back into fiat, right? All that happens in the background. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything at all. It all happens in the background. So what will happen for you is it'll say, okay, I want to go to dinner and I want to spend $500. You'll load up $500 and you'll spend that $500, right? But now let's say you need cash. You need cash to do some other things, or you got bills that you need to pay that you can't use a credit card. So you just go to the ATM and you take out whatever it is that you need to take out. No fees from us, but you'll pay whatever that bank's fee is, and they'll take care of it for you. Now, I told you already, everything we do is in stable coin, right? So when you're earning that $3,800, it's not going down in value. It's going to be $3,800. You got a bill to pay, you can pay that bill. Now you can load up to $50,000 daily, and you have a spend limit of $50,000 daily as well. You are always in full custody of your funds 100% of the time. Now this is where it's a game changer because of the decentralized application that we put on your phone. When you go to sign up, it takes you literally 2 minutes. You go online to do a banking application or to go to a centralized crypto. Yeah, they want everything. They probably even at this point want to get a pint of your blood just to make sure you are who you say you are. So there's no KYC. So you go in, you set it up, boom. You order your card. You'll have your card normally 4 to 6 weeks. But our digital card, which will hook right to your Apple Pay and your Google Pay, will be coming out. We're just in final testing of it, and then you can start using it right away. No freezes. Now, this can be embarrassing. I've had this happen to me. So my money's in the centralized, and that bank gets a letter and says to freeze my account. They froze my accounts. Took 2 weeks to get them unfrozen because it shouldn't have happened. It was a mistake, but by law, the centralized bank has to do it. I'll never have to worry about that now because I'm in the decentralized world. Who controls my funds? I control. So I never have to worry about it. And one of the other ones that always, a little pet peeve of mine, I deposit a check into the bank and they hold it for 5 days. And I know they're making money with that money already, but they're going to hold my check for 5 days. Never have that happen to me again. Right? And then the last piece is no hidden fees. You'll see the only fee you'll ever pay with our group after you've paid that $75. And by the way, that black card is lifetime when you pay that $75. Every 3 years, it's going to renew. As long as you did a minimum of $500 on the card, we're going to send you another card every 3 years, just so that the newest technology is on the card that you have. Okay, now, let's talk about our smart contract. That's another one of my big pet peeves, and people that have been on these calls with me this whole month know this. So this just happened to me with one of the companies that I've been doing business with. So they have a process of how they pay you, right? So basically, you got salespeople out there doing the work, getting them new customers, but they're paying us 60 days in arrears, right? But and we're also supposed to get this residually forever, right? Or for whatever the term of the contract is. So what ends up happening is the company goes bankrupt. We've done all this work. We get put on their creditor list because we didn't get paid, but we did all the work. And they use that money to fund something else. That's my pet peeve. Hey, if I'm giving you the money, don't use it for something else. Give me the, or if I'm giving you the business, give it back to me. So that's why smart contracts are so cool. So what's going to happen here is what just happened when I got involved. The young lady that brought me the card to my attention, she told me about it. I put $75 in USDT on there, and I was able to order my card. And then she got $7.50. It didn't go to Bankus. That's our bank partner, which I'll tell you about in a minute. It went directly to her. And then $11.25 went to her inviter. And then the last 750 went to the last inviter. I'm a big proponent of 3 levels, and you'll understand why when I get into the next section. But it's important to understand we have a smart contract, and this smart contract pays us on this front end money. But where I get excited is what's going to happen on the next slide. Now, residual deposits on reloads. So it's 4% reload fee. That's the only fee you're ever going to pay. So when you go to put money on the card, you're going to pay 4%. 3% of that is going to go to take care of the conversion, take care of turning it back into fiat. It's going to take care of having our banking partner, Bankus, who's 10 years old. They're headquartered in Mexico City. They have offices all over Latin America. They are a full-fledged blockchain banking technology company. So we're partnered with the right people. So that 3% customer service, all the things that they have to do on their side. And then the other 1% comes back to our community. That's what's really cool is when it comes back to our community, we get to use that and it comes in day and night. So every time I load my card, like when I was on the West Coast, I loaded my card at 2 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, and my inviter, she got paid. And then her inviter did. So level 1, level 2, and level 3. So that's what's exciting about the reloads. But now I'll get really exciting when I share with you exactly how that flows into the system. All right. Now, there's going to be people that you're going to run across that are going to be people who, hey, you know what? I love this concept, but I'm just not somebody that that knows anybody. I don't want to invite anybody, all those kinds of things. Hey, we welcome those people. Those people could turn the presentation off right now. They can go through as many times as they want. And they'll just stick with that, making that linear money, which is they're making money from what they've done, right? They've gone through, they paid it forward, their deposits, right? And they bought a card, and that's it. They're not going to get any of the multiplications that I'm going to talk about right now. So let's talk about how the velocity and leveraging you can do with your connections. And I'm big on this because everybody that's here knows people and talks to people about things that they've done. I'm big on a good friend of mine who loves to do experiences. Every one of the experiences I've done with him, and I talk about it for weeks with people. Years later, people will ask me about those experiences. And I still got the pictures. I got all that stuff, right? So this is an experience for everybody. Everybody's coming into something and it doesn't cost them anything. And they're learning about digital currency without being confused about what goes on with cryptocurrency. And they're able to move money from digital to fiat in a second. So it's something that is important for you to share with people, right? So on your entry, you're going to make $100. On your prestige track, you're going to make $3,800. Now, what are you going to have to do with that? You're going to need to off-ramp that, right? That's what we talked about. But at the same time, all the people that you know could use that same amount of money that you have, that you're getting. Hey, if you're pushing on the screen trying to make it bigger, stop, because you're writing on my screen. All right. Referral connection rewards. Everything I just talked to you about. I'm going to sum it up right here. You got 3 levels of lifetime connections. So all these people that you know, when you time to your Bankus card, right? That's your most important piece here. Everything else with our community is driven where they're not tied to you in any way. But where they are tied to you is in one spot, and one spot only. That's your Bankus card, because that's what made you a bank, and that's what now makes everybody that you refer a bank partner of yours, and everybody they refer a partner of theirs, and everybody they refer a partner. You're tied to those 3 levels, and then we got that 1% that's going to get paid out on those three levels. Now, this is my example. Okay, you go through the circuit one time. Remember, I just gave you the numbers on the previous slide, right? You're going to be able to find 15 people that you know. You're not selling them anything. You're not doing anything other than sharing an experience that you had. Holy cow. I got in this velocity line, and the next thing I know, I had $3,800 or $3,900 on this black card that I could spend. Wow. I'm going to share that all day long. But let me show you the numbers. Let me show you why it's so important long term for you to want to share this with other people. And the great thing about it is it's on your phone. Every day you could share it with someone and say, hey, look at what I just made on my phone yesterday. So 15 partners. You're going to have 3,800 each. That's 57,000 in volume that was created, right? 57,000. You're going to get 0.285%. That's 162.45 based on, we're basing this on 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, you can flow through our flow system based on the way we built it. Now you've got 324.90, right? So first time around, boom, you don't have your 15 partners yet. But by the time you get 10, 15 times around, that's when you're going to have your 15 partners. And if you've helped your 15 partners, which is why we do a 3-level, you're going to have 225 partners. So think about it. You needed help when you got started, right? What did they do? They showed you the 3 steps. They explained to you how the referral program works. They sent you to one of these presentations, right? So it makes sense that you help the person that you brought in do the same thing. And what do you think is going to happen? Sometimes some of the 225 people from the 15 are going to say, hey, Bill, can you do a call with this guy, even though he won't be second level to you? That's the reason why we do 3rd level. Now that duplicates to 33.75. Now let's look at the numbers on number 2. So now instead of just getting 324.90, you now created 855,000 in volume, right? Of those 4% going, 3% going to the bank, 1% coming back to us. And now over the course of 2 cycles, that's 7,353. You know, a lot of people can live on $7,000 a month. I know a lot of people that can, right? But now let's take it a step further, right? Now we're talking about creating 12,825,000 in volume, right? On those 4% for the bank. That's our partner, right? And now we're talking about 36,000 every 2 weeks. And they're coming all day and all night long, because when you have that big of a network, you've got people all over the world now that are going, oh, I'm spending 1,000 here, I'm spending 1,000. And then you got the big ballers, I call them. You know, some of my friends, you know, where they'll go out on an evening and they'll spend 30,000. And when that happens, you're getting your either 0.285 or your 0.43%. So 80,000 a month. So what I did is I just showed you how our customer acquisition program on the front end allows you to go round and round, create some deposits that you then are going to want to use to spend on your lifestyle, right? But we take it a step further and we partner with a bank that has this vision to be worldwide, which they are. There's over 100 different countries that we have live cards in right now. And they're already a technology company and a blockchain company, but they're also a traditional bank. So they take care of all the changing the currencies, changing the fees, all the things that they need to do. So we've tied all this together to give you an opportunity to say to yourself, why act now? Well, your position determines your flow, right? All new slots are deposited forward, entries funded by partners before you. Early placement puts you in a higher in the global velocity line, right? So why wouldn't you right now? If somebody sent you the roadmap, you should be right now getting the next slot that's available. Every connection compounds. Your 15 direct partners can grow into 3,615 connected partners across 3 levels and give you real residual income. A lot of people think they've had residual income, but they get involved with a company. Again, the company goes out of business, or the product or the service doesn't work out, and that residual income goes away. We're partnered with a bank, right? And the bank is here creating this whole mecca that we're going to have of a payment system, of an ecosystem. They've got a 10-year track record. So I'm pretty sure that if you're in this with us in the beginning, you're going to be in this with us long term. So that's real residual income that's coming from 3 things that everybody you know is doing right now, right? Number one, everybody you know has a phone, right? Got to have a phone to do this, right? Number two, everybody you know spends money, right? Everybody spends money. And everybody you know, in order to spend money, what do they have to do? They have to make money. So there's 8 billion people on the planet. So all those people are available to be part of this. There's no age restriction because, again, we're decentralized. So you could set up an account for your unborn child, have that become the college education by you handling all those deposits for that. Because remember, once you set a slot, the first slot, and you do the right thing that first time around, you're going to be in this for life. So I'm done. That is the presentation. I'm going to end this. And hopefully people are rewatching this. You get excited and you get that from the person that invited you. 2 things, right? You get the roadmap and you get their Bankus referral code. And the reason why you want to make sure that you're getting their Bankus referral code is because if they took the time to invite you in, you owe it to them to make sure that they are the referral partner that gets the long-term benefit from the compounding effect by you being part of their network. So I'm done. And then